Hey everyone, it's Ross, and today we're going to go around and pick some really special varieties, really tasty, beautiful figs, and then we're going to do a little taste test and compare them. Um, really excited for this video. Some of these I've never eaten before. You can see right in here, this is my raspberry latte. Quite a large tree, very vigorous. Has mostly single lobe leaves, but on certain branches people have reported, and I've noticed this myself, more Violette De Bordeaux type leaves. It's a seedling from Encanto Farms that John found, and I hope this one's ready because it's quite soft, but I know how incredible this fig can be. Maybe I should wait for cracking, but I kind of want to add this fig here into the tasting here. You can see there's some ants getting in the eye, some crawling on my hand right now. Quite a large eye. It has been told by me from a friend in California that fig has the berry intensity of unknown pastilieri. The first fig we saw in the video, this is Italian 258. What a high quality fig this looks like. It's so beautiful. How can you not like it? We have many things ripening right now, and it's really only, I think it's not even September 1st yet. I think it's August, the end of August now. We're maybe one day away from September 1st. Here we have Smith. Smith's one of my best figs. Hands down, it does exceptionally well here in this climate. It's a early to mid-season variety that reliably produces. Also another beautiful fig. Almost purple. Really beautiful. And then the tree itself, like I said, performs very well here in Pennsylvania. I'm air layering 4 different branches off of this tree because I love it so much. We're gonna have 5 trees of Smith. Behind it is Ronde De Bordeaux, and my Ronde De Bordeaux is almost finished now. I've eaten a lot of them off of this tree, and people really recommend that I let this one ripen for a long time, and you can see this one's real shriveled up. It's been hanging here for quite some time. I'm not entirely sure the amount of days it's been, but that's a really high quality fig. And the nice part about this fig tasting, guys, is that we are going to be eating figs that have been ripening in dry 95-degree weather for the most part. This whole week has been really warm. Today's Thursday, so from Thursday all the way to Monday and the previous weekend has been very warm. We also have back here Azores Dark that I want to pick for you guys. Again, also quite shriveled on the tree. An odd shape from this one, but you can see there's many more coming in now. Really beautiful, tasty variety that to me is as good as Smith. So we'll see what happens this year, because that's my first Smith of the year. What else do I have to show you guys? Because we really are going to pick a bunch of figs specifically for this video, but also because the rains are coming in tomorrow, and then it's going to continue probably for the next 4 to 5 days. So it's good to pick your figs, guys. If you're new to this, pick them before the rains start coming in. We also have here Petite Aubique. I'm trying to see what's really ready. Here's Petite Aubique. Something bit into that. I think this is a slug. I've been getting slugs on my Petite Aubiques. This is a Violette De Bordeaux type that I really enjoy. And I think there's maybe one more back here that we should pick. Hard to see, but I need to feel it. Oh yeah, that's probably even better than the one I picked. But I love to pick the Violette De Bordeaux types, guys, early. You know, we're just gonna pick it because of the rain. I know this variety does quite well in the rain. All right, everyone, so here's the figs I picked, and the second half of me picking the video is just, for whatever reason, never was filmed. It got cut out somehow, so unfortunately you missed that part of me picking the figs. But here they all are, laid out, labeled. We have Petite Aubique to start, a Violette De Bordeaux type. That's very, very good. Red Libya. It's a new one for me. Smith, one of my favorites. Ronde De Bordo. That's actually quite ripe. We have Teramo Unknown, found by Big Bill. We have Brandon Street Unknown, found by Ben B in Seattle. We have Raspberry Latte. This is a seedling at Encanto Farms. This here is Azores Dark. And then lastly, we have LSU Tiger, a fig that was bred by Louisiana State University. So that's what we got today. Okay, so opening these figs, guys, I think this is easily one of the best days of my life. This right here just imbues every piece of hard work I've put into this hobby, and it's really paid off. And you can tell that the quality of the fruit is really, really something for Pennsylvania. I'm very, very excited to try these guys. I mean, I can't really express to you just how excited I am. So this is what they all look like. So I think we'll start with Smith. And I don't know, Smith looks really, really good, but not as good as I have seen this fig. So maybe this being the first fig off of my tree this year, I should be expecting less, but who knows? We'll see. This has been a 9 for me in the past, and a 9 to me is something that can compete with the flavor of a fig that is ripened in California. Oh yeah. That's a great fig. Nice sharp berry flavor, guys, with some acidity. That sharpness there is some kind of acidity. It's sweet. Not as much honey as I'm used to. The skin's a little furry, but nonetheless thin. Really, really good pulp. Oh my God, it's a 9. 9 out of 10 for me. It's in the top figs of all the figs I've ever eaten. Alright, on to the next. We have Red Libya that definitely has some honey in there. It definitely can go a little bit longer. You can see the pith is quite white. So it's maybe a bit underripe, but it still looks ripe. And the honey is really showing. It also almost looks orange, the pulp. When you get to the very center of the void, it's quite red. This is a variety, for whatever reason, we don't talk about all that much. Whoa. Unusual berry flavor. This one's quite sharp, just like Smith, but weird fig. It's more acidic than sweet. Never seen that before in a fig. That's really interesting. So lots of acidity, a pretty good, decent amount of berry flavor to it. Oh, it's a keeper. It's got thick skin though, so it kind of has like a marshmallowy exterior to it. I don't know how to describe that exactly, but nonetheless good. Alright, so we got a Petite Aubique up next, and one of these is probably the most ripe. I'm trying to think about which one that is, and that's the one I want to eat. I do enjoy this fig on the lesser side though of ripe. This one doesn't need to turn fully black for me. It just needs to get fully soft, even throughout the neck, maybe not even throughout the neck, and it's really good. It's got a nice berry flavor to it combined with honey. Most people don't think of this fig of having honey in it, but this one does for me. It's very obvious in the fig. You can see glistening honey in here. Real good. So I'd say Red Libya is an 8, and so is Petite Aubique. Petite Aubique for me is just an overall standout winner every single year. I love the Violette De Bordeaux types, guys. Berry flavor that's almost similar to a Hardy Chicago. And then you combine that with honey, so you get a nice strawberry jam taste with sweetness from the honey and the fig. It's a real winner. It just performs really well here too. So that's Petite Aubique. All right, so now we got Ronde De Bordeaux. It's Violette De Bordeaux's cousin? Who knows? But they're from the same region of France, so really cool. Overall, another really productive, early ripening winter here in Pennsylvania. A lot of people love this fig. It doesn't seem to do nearly as well in a drier climate like California or Arizona for whatever reason. Maybe it's just those particular people. But let's try this. Real good. When it's super ripe like this, I think it's better than Violette De Bordeaux. It's brother there. The pulp, the skin is so dark that it's almost staining on my hand. It is staining on my hand. So, really a magnificent variety. Interesting berry flavor. People have told me it tastes like a plum. That to me didn't taste exactly like a plum. I mean, I think none of these berry flavors taste exactly like a particular fruit. They're their own little unique little weird berry to me, or unique little weird fruit to me. So I can't really say that tasted like a berry, but oh my god, was that an interesting berry flavor. There's definitely some honey in there, and I found that there's a period where you could pick it like Violette De Bordeaux, that you get a little bit of a sharpness to it, a really weird berry flavor that people describe as a Bordeaux berry flavor. But then if you let it ripen even longer, it gets much sweeter, the honey starts to develop, and now the fig has been hanging on there so long that it's starting to shrivel, it's starting to somewhat dry on the tree. It intensifies the berry flavor, and some of that sweetness, in my mind, I think decreases in a way that can allow the berry flavor to shine through. Ronde De Bordeaux is really approaching a 9, that particular fig I just ate, but I don't think it's as good as Smith. Smith had everything that I just mentioned in Ronde De Bordeaux, but it has the acidity, some weird acidity to it that Ronde doesn't necessarily have. There's a weird little nuance there. Very small difference between the two. So that's Ronde De Bordeaux. Okay, so now we have Teramo and Brandon Street right next to each other, and these two definitely look like different figs, and when I eat them, I have in the past swore they were the same. They also look pretty similar in terms of their neck, the exterior. You can kind of see, I mean, they're kind of similar looking figs, but I don't think they're the same. After having them side by side, especially after we taste both of them right now. So let's taste them both. We'll do Brandon Street Unknown first. You can see there's a little bit of mold there at the eye. It's pretty common with this variety. The eye is a little bit open, but nothing gets past that eye. Okay, so I just ate Brandon Street Unknown. I had to spit it out. It's definitely spoiled. It's like fermenting. I don't know, maybe there's some fruit fly in here. Maybe I can smell it. It kind of has that fruit fly smell to it. Maybe it's SWD, maybe it's fermenting. I don't know, but this fig is completely ruined for sure. And that's really disappointing because it actually looks pretty good. But holy hell, was that bad. Oh. All right, let's try Teramo here. Oh my god, that was really disgusting, guys, when you eat a fig like that. Teramo's really good. Definitely underrated for flavor, I think, because not a whole lot of people have this variety, and the people that do, I don't think ripen the fig long enough. If you let it ripen till it's almost shriveling up, it's real good. There's some honey in there, there's some sugar in there, and there's some berry in there. All three of them are not very intense. They're like mild forms of honey, mild forms of sugar, like crystallized sugar, and a mild light berry flavor that is quite unique. I really enjoy the light berry figs. As an example, Brandon Street Unknown also has a light berry flavor to it, and so does my other fig that I love called Suati, that Bass at Trees of Joy found. So for me, that one is actually, it's definitely an 8, could be a 9. I think a lot of these guys are on the edge of like 8s and 9s, but you kind of have to give a little bit of a higher standard to a 9. But for me, that fig has everything. It's got all the flavors in it. It's weird. It's really good. So that was Teramo Unknown. All right, so let's do LSU Tiger, bred by Louisiana State University. Also quite productive, quite early. Seems to do well in the rain, I guess. Teramo is the same thing. It's quite early. It's quite productive. Really a special tree I think more people ought to look into, but this is Teramo. I'm sorry, this is LSU Tiger. It's another like almost light berry taste, similar to Teramo. But you can see that it could get some more intensity to it. It's also sweet. There's definitely some honey in here. I've ripened some LSU Tigers, guys, with honey at the eye. But it's perfectly sweet. It's really a great fig. It's another 8. I can't really differentiate too much between these figs and say that this one's way above the other one, you know. But they're all really, really good. So that was LSU Tiger. All right, so let's do Raspberry Latte next. Raspberry Latte looks like a very interesting fig. My friend Brian Melton says that Raspberry Latte has an intense berry flavor that's similar to Unknown Pastillieri. I've eaten an Unknown Pastillieri that my friend Doug gave to me at the Long Island Fig Festival. Doug flew in from California to Long Island to really share with us all these interesting varieties that were ripened in California. And he gave me the 2 best figs I've ever eaten, Black Madeira, ripened in California, and Unknown Pastillieri, also ripened in California. Unknown Pastillieri had the most intense cherry, berry, interesting berry flavor I've ever eaten of any fruit out there. It's so, so good that if I lived in California, it would certainly be, if I had to choose one fig, that may just be it. Now, my friend Brian says that Raspberry Latte has that similar intensity to it, so I hope he's right. Open eye. Large fig. This one may be close to 90 grams. So far I'm not getting that intense berry. And I think the reason for that is because maybe it just needs to ripen longer. It's as simple as that. You can see it in here. There's a lot of white up here and around this fig. If the pith here, this white part, which I believe is called the pith, if that starts to get stained with red, this one may be an incredible, incredible variety. This by no means was not bad. This was really good. But I was hoping for Unknown Pastillieri and I didn't find it. This is an 8 out of 10 for me. Really good though. Huge. Alright, so I may have saved the best for last, and also maybe the best first. So far we have a 9 in Smith, and I just ate an Azores Dark yesterday, Similar ripeness to this, and it was also a 9. What's interesting about this particular one, there seems to be a lot of glistening honey in there. Glistening honey, and the interior is actually, could be even more red than it was yesterday. But see that glistening? Oh man. I considered this to be like an early black Madeira. This thing ripens for me like the 1st of July. 2 years in a row now with a greenhouse. It's really, really productive. It fruits so much that it doesn't grow. Really has trouble growing. So let's eat this. I've done numerous videos on this fig. In fact, I just did one yesterday comparing this to a brown turkey and talking about the details. I think I'm going to be pleasantly surprised. Oh man. Wow. Alright, this one has the most flavor of any of them. Really, really good berry flavor. Oh my god. I don't know how else to say it. I mean, I've said it before, but it has a really nice berry. I think the one yesterday was like half raspberry jam, half strawberry jam with a little bit of honey. And I could kind of see that today, but it was even more raspberry jam, less strawberry. There was a more interesting, complex berry flavor today than yesterday. That's a really, really good fig. And I want to try to compare the two next to Smith. I want to see what Smith tastes like just right next to Azores Dark and see if there's much difference, because they have very similar taste to me, except for Smith ripens more mid-season. Azores Dark is way earlier. It's my first fig of the year, 2 years in a row. So let's compare them both. Alright guys, so let's compare the two, Azores Dark and Smith, on this particular day. Which one do I find better? And you know, figs are very variable, guys. They're going to taste different on different days. If you leave them on the tree for another hour, a day, pick them at different times, different heat, different conditions, they're going to be so different. So even though I did this taste test for you all, it's important to know that whatever I say here in this video is not always going to be the same for you. It's very important in my mind to consider conditions and to consider how much water each of these trees are getting. If they're getting too much water, that may in fact be quite a bad thing. So let me taste the two of these. Let me taste the Zoras Dark first. I just cleansed my palate with some water. A lot of these figs, guys, linger in taste. They have a lingering flavor to them. I just can't believe that's a thing, you know? I just can't believe that's like in nature. It's something could be this good on its own. You don't have to do anything to it. You don't have to prepare it. You don't have to, you know, cut it up and make it look nice. You know, put it into, you know, add salt or sugar or something. Put it into a little concoction. Make it into a stew. It's just good on its own. They're so close. They actually taste very similar. I said the same thing last year in a video that I did. Oh man, they taste so similar. It's so hard to say. I think Smith maybe is a little better. Just a hair. Just one little hair. And you know what's interesting about Smith, guys? It doesn't need to hang nearly as long as my Azores Dark. Azores Dark over here, guys. It needs to hang for probably 7 to 8 or 9 days before it's perfect. Actually, more like 9 days before it's perfect. You know, we get over here to Smith, and Smith only needs to hang for maybe 5. So there's quite a bit of difference there from one fig, you know, being attacked by something potentially in only the course of 5 days, whereas this fig could be attacked by something in the course of 9 days. You know, you never know what's going to happen. But anyway, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. This is truly one of the best days of my life. And boy, oh boy, were these figs good. Talk to y'all soon and grow some figs.